Hello friend. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited that you're here. This next video series is something I have been mulling over for the last week. At first I had this idea and was super excited about it. And then immediately I got nervous. And then the more I started thinking about it, I thought this would be really good for me. And not only for myself, I think it would be helpful for other people. For the next year, I am going to document my journey of rebuilding my confidence, specifically rebuilding my creative confidence. So why? Well, here's my origin story. My primary creative passion is music. I went to school for music, specifically vocal performance, and I love being on stage and performing and singing. And I ended up working somewhere, and I'm gonna keep this very vague because I don't want to disparage anybody, because I have experienced a lot of healing in my life and I don't need to go back to that moment in time. But I ended up working somewhere where I was able to use a lot of my skills as a musician, as a vocalist, as a vocal performer, and the people that I worked with just really said and did some things that very much crushed me, and I never realized how much I had taken what they said to heart and believed what they said about me over what God says about me, over what the people who love me most say about me. And for the last about 8 years, maybe 7.5, 8 years, I have spent living from this shrunk back position, living under the shadow of those words, of those actions. And even though I went to counseling and I feel healed and I'm not full of bitterness or anger, I'm realizing that it's one thing to heal, and then it's another thing to start taking steps to rebuild what was broken down. Maybe you can relate. Maybe you as a creative, especially a multi-passionate creative, can understand what it feels like when you face very heavy rejection, or perhaps you experience failure, but maybe it's not just failure in one sense. Maybe it's failure after failure after failure after failure. And although you can see what you've learned from it, eventually over time that starts to wear away at us and it starts to get under our skin. And that's exactly what happened to me. It was recently that I realized how much I had been affected and had allowed those words and those actions to put me on the bench, to take me out, instead of continuing to move forward. I love writing my own music, and I have not written on my own probably since college, which would have been, I graduated in 2012. When I graduated in 2012, I put out a really small basic EP, and I was super excited about it. And even though I knew it wasn't perfect, I was just happy that I had created something and I had enough confidence to put it out there. And honestly, since then, I have not put out any music. When I start thinking about that, I think about how sad that is. And if I could go back and tell myself back in college, by the way, this is the last music that you're gonna create for another, 11 years, I think that person would be very sad. And so over the last 2 to 3 years, I've been writing on a weekly basis with my best friend. And that in and of itself has been helping me rebuild a little bit of my confidence. But you know what? It's time for me to start doing this on my own again and to really trust my skill set, trust my creative direction, trust the passion and the calling and the vision that God has laid on my heart, that God has given me, and pursue that fully. This is primarily going to be about building my confidence as a vocalist again and a musician again. But there's a lot of other areas of my life as a multi-passionate that I have also kind of left behind and not really pursued. So while mostly this is going to be about me getting back into music fully, there's also going to be some other things too, because there's a lot of my creative pursuits that I've kind of just forgotten about. I love to draw. I haven't really drawn very much because I just keep comparing myself to everybody else and not allowing myself to be bad in the process while you learn to draw. That's part of the growth, right? I want to get better at vlogging, and I want to have a YouTube channel, and I have all of these designs for clothing and different things like that, for stickers. And so while the main drive is going to be me getting back into music, truly getting back into music, I also want to incorporate some of these other aspects of my creative life that I have honestly left behind. Part of building your confidence comes with action. You can say nice things, other people can say nice things about you, you can have affirmations. All those things are great, but the way that you rebuild your confidence is by continuing to get up, continuing to be consistent, to show up, to keep trying, and eventually those skills grow. My overarching goal is to be able to release at least one single by next June of 2024. Now, honestly, I think that's a really low-hanging goal. I think it could be higher. I think it could be an EP, but something that I've learned about myself, I have also coached a lot of multi-passionate creatives, is sometimes we need to start with a very, very small goal to overcome the years of fear that we have built up. We have some really low hanging fruit. We start there. And as we hit that, we realize, oh my gosh, I can do this. I can go farther. So I'm setting the goal a little bit low, and you know what? That might shift over the year, and that's totally fine. I am inviting you along with me on this journey. I'm hoping to give weekly updates, just kind of record where I'm at, what I'm feeling, what are some of the limiting beliefs that I am fighting, and also just show you some of my process of what I'm doing as a creative who's lost their confidence and is trying to learn and grow and build it back. And I'm inviting you to come with me. If you feel like you have also been struggling and you have lost that creative confidence, I first want to say I hear you, I see you, I have been there, I am there now, and it's really, really scary to get to the place where you know it's time. It's time to move forward. It's time to start moving in a direction of action. I totally hear you, and it's scary. And that's why I am incorporating a lot of different communal elements for you to come along with me. So I'll have these weekly videos and updates, and hopefully, hopefully those are encouraging to you. I also have a Patreon, so if you're a multi-passionate and you really want to kind of take another step and make a commitment to yourself and also like a community of other multi-passionates, you can check out the Patreon. I have some challenges that I'm going to be incorporating in there, some lives, some Q&As. I'm working on a podcast for that as well. If you would just like to kind of be in discussion with other multi-passionates, I also have a Discord channel. And then once a week, I am going to be doing a live stream through Twitch, and I think I will do it here on YouTube as well. I am going to be doing a live stream where we spend some time together a productivity hour, maybe a few hours, where it's just a way to show up, keep yourself accountable, and say, I'm gonna work on one small thing in this hour. I'm gonna try to work on something for this hour, but I'm not gonna do it alone. So there are a lot of ways that you can come with me on this journey. I'm hoping that I will build my confidence. No, I know that I am going to build my confidence back, but I'm also hoping and believing and praying that as you come along this journey, you will be inspired and you will get a little bit of oomph in your step as well. So, friend, thanks for coming. I am nervous and actually really excited about this journey as well. It's going to be a great way for me to be accountable to myself, because I will have at least one person checking in and making sure that I do this thing and asking me where the videos are. So I will see you soon.